Hello everyone, this is Sanjay from Amacode. In this tutorial, let's check how to set up a Django environment in our machine. My personal recommendation is to use Pycharm IDE from JetBrains. Download URL, I will provide those in the description. So to use Django in Pycharm, you need to have professional version, which is a paid feature. Another one is community version, which has only pure Python support and it doesn't have any Django support. So you need to have a professional version to have Django support. So that's actually paid, but if you are a student or a teacher, I will give you an URL down in the description. You can go to that. You can register yourself with a school or college email ID or identity card, and you will get all those paid version for free. So a landing page of PyCharm will look like this. You can select a Django column and let's select the location on which our Django setup has to happen. I am selecting this Django application directory under my desktop, so it will create all the Django installs in that directory. So clicking on create, it will create our application Django setup in this Django app folder. So if you are not using PyCharm, and good alternative is to use VS Code, Sublime Atom of your choice. So let's talk about how to set up the Django in those IDEs. So like this PyCharm, you can't really set up Django in VS Code Sublime with a button of click. You have to go through some of the manual process like creating our virtual environment by our own and pip installing Django into that virtual environment manually, and we will go through this process in a second. So in this Django folder, I am going to make my Django setup for VS Code, Sublime and Atom. I'm going to show you how to set those up in step by step. So at first we have to uh, install virtual environment if you don't have one. So pip install virtual environment. So do this. I'm lazy in typing. So it will install the virtual environment in your local machine. So after it gets installed, we have to navigate to this directory where you have to install Django in it, it's Django directory for me. So let it get installed. So it's installed. So let me actually create navigate to this directory in here. So I'm already in the directory itself. So let me create a virtual environment named venv in this directory. So it will create a virtual environment in this directory. After creating the virtual environment, we need to activate our virtual environment. There are two different ways. For Windows, we need to execute some separate command, and for Mac, the command is separate. So our virtual environment is installed in our Django directory. So now let's actually activate it. So to do so, for Windows you have to type in this command, and if you type in this command, and this will activate our virtual environment in our command prompt. Now your virtual environment is activated in your command prompt. So now let's actually install virtual environment, install Django in our virtual environment. To install Django, just say pip install Django, which will install Django in this directory. Okay, Django is installed in this Django directory. Note, you have to do all this if you are not using Pycharm. Okay, and this showing some error. It says that my pip version has been outdated. Let's do it after some time. So now we have to create an Django project in our Django directory. So to do so, we have to say Django-admin start project. Django. I'm really a slow typer, so bear with me. And we have to supply our project name here. For now, let me give it as blog. Okay. So spell another ANG. So this will create a project named blog in this directory. Our project has been created. Now we have our setup ready, and we can actually navigate to our project by using cd and our project name, is blog. So we have navigated to this directory, and this directory, as you can see, it has manage.py file in here. So you have set up our Django in our local machine, and by the way, we can also see in Pycharm it's also made ready in here. Our manual setup also has been made ready. So let me now break you the structure of Django. The entire application that you build using Django is called Django project, and all those smaller builds that groups into Django project is called Django application. For example, an Instagram can be considered as a project, and which can be break down into two applications, posts and user respectively. So all the logics for creating post like comments etc will go into post application. All the logics for user authentication, account creation etc, those will go into user application. Making sense? Good. Okay, now let's come into this manage.py file in the Django project. With the help of manage.py file, we can interact with our Django project in our CLI. So manage.py file is used to run our Django server, interact with our DB from our CLI, making changes to a DB and etc. All those stuffs manage.py file can do for us. So Django server is the Django feature that comes shipped with Django, that is used to run our Django code and test them locally in our machine. To start our Django server, type in python manage.py run server, which will start our Django server, and it will run locally on this URL. 127.0.0.1 colon 8000. You can open this URL in our web browser and you can see the result what it shows. My computer is a bit slow because numerous apps being opened. This Pycharm rate consumes as much of RAM. Okay, it's showing the landing page. We have successfully installed our Django in our local machine. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, subscribe to our channel. I'm interested to meet you in the next video. Bye. Take care. See you in the next video.